Due to early childhood damage from family, school and church, I grew up to be a very complicated mess. My life had become a complete horror story. I'd made a series of appalling life choices which resulted in an abusive marriage, a divorce, attempted suicide, and worst of all, killing my own child through abortion. At age 37, due to a very extraordinary set of circumstances, I stumbled on the idea of becoming a Christian, which is a story in itself. And I've since understood that a lot of people think that by becoming Christian, suddenly everything's okay. In my case, everything got a great deal worse. And I think that's because it sort of flagged up all sorts of stuff. I came to know that in theory, God can forgive us for all the things that we've done wrong, but I just didn't feel forgiven. And I couldn't really understand why. What's interesting is that I never really asked Jesus to forgive me for killing my child, but I think it was probably because I was afraid that he would abandon me, that this was something that he just really could not forgive. But in point of fact, it was, I couldn't forgive me for doing that. I was constantly under the care of counsellors, psychotherapy groups, psychoanalysis. Some of the very best out there, must have cost a fortune. Then latterly, antidepressants, very hefty drugs. Absolutely nothing really got to the root of the problem. I came to the conclusion that this really wasn't working. I could not fix this myself, and ended up with this wonderful universal prayer. Help. And then I stumbled on this extraordinary therapy nobody's ever heard of called Hope Alive. It's a course that takes you right back to the beginning, identifies what went wrong, and then gives you the tools with which to live your life. It is without doubt the hardest thing I've ever done in my life, but also the most worthwhile. And it's a program that was written by Dr. Philip Ney, a Canadian psychiatrist, and I am so grateful to Doug and Mary Gresham, who I lived with my husband for 6 months, and they put me through the program that Dr. Ney wrote, and it absolutely changed everything. Probably the most important thing that I learned was how the principle of forgiveness actually really works in practice. And I think it works best using the biblical model of forgiveness and reconciliation. In as much as you acknowledge the hurt, it involves you confronting the person that hurt you, but also allows you to be confronted by people that you've hurt, so it's a sort of two-way thing, in order to bring about reconciliation. That doesn't necessarily mean you're going to be best friends or anything like that, but a reconciliation that enables both parties to lead their life without constantly batting against each other. You know, you get through the course and then you get to the reconciliation bit, and it was through that process I had to write a letter to myself. So I had to write in the letter all the different things I had done, and then to hear that read back to you is just, it's sort of shocking. It's read back to you in sentence by sentence, and I forgive, I forgive, I forgive. And by the end of it, you have fully understood that it is actually okay to forgive yourself. No one's going to abandon you. It is like pulling the plug and unblocking the drain, and all this filth comes out, but it's great. I love unblocking drains. It is an ongoing journey. I managed to inflict on my children so much of what happened to me. Yes, I've reconciled with my kids, but each of them in their own way, it still continues on. We still have differences, but the huge change is that we can now talk about them rather than bottle them up, which is that's poisonous. So I would have to say that now, having completed the course and really understood the whole principle of forgiveness and how it really works, and that it's actually safe and it's okay, I feel totally forgiven. I am forgiven. I know that.